some significant cloud to ground lightning strikes. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to stay inside with this storm regardless if we're actually seeing a tornado. It's Doppler radar indicated, so that means that we are seeing the winds within the storm. Counterclockwise rotation showing up, and that is an indication that there could be a tornado there. No confirmation on that from the ground, but nonetheless you can see all the lightning strikes, the strong winds with this. We're probably looking at winds somewhere in the 50 to 70 mile per hour range based on what I'm seeing with velocity products. So again, this has a potential to be producing a tornado as it's coming out of Hampton and moving more to the northeast. Let's take some of this off of here. Actually, we're going to go back to velocity to give a better idea, and it's still in that area around Hampton that we are seeing that. So if I'm starting to mention a road here that you're in Evangeline Parish, that's LA 104. Looks like a lot of rural area here as it moves along LA 104. No major roads until you get back up to these areas. But if I mention some of the roads that you're on here in Evangeline Parish, that's where you want to stay inside, put as many walls from the outside to the inside as you can, and try to stay away from windows. So we have Howard Lane that goes up towards, it looks like Bieber Road, and we have BJ Lane, those areas again across Evangeline Parish. So to give you a good idea of where we're really looking here, there's 190 rotations here. So everything's just north of that area as it's moving into more of Evangeline Parish. So we have some rural areas, but definitely some roads showing up here. Howard Lane, those areas into Bieber Road. Those are the two intersections, again, that you will want to keep a close eye on as this rotation starts to move more into your area. So we have that tornado warning. This goes until 12:15. Can we put it up full screen there for a second? I'm going to grab a drink here real fast as once again we stay with this tornado warning, and we're able to see the rotation that's coming out of Hampton. So if you're anywhere around the Hampton area, this is just north of LA 104. That's where the rotation for this warning is. And this is from the National Weather Service at Lake Charles. We're able to see the rotation within that storm right around the Hampton area. Excuse me.
Populate.
As we see this moving off to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour, I'm able to keep a close eye on the National Weather Service. They are showing that this is radar indicated as we are seeing this all lift off to the northeast there. Once again, tornado warning until 12:15. Current time right now, 11:52. The bright pink area, that would be the area of rotation. So coming out of the Hampton area, this would be coming just across that black line that you're seeing running straight up and down on your television screen. That's your Allen Evangeline Parish line. So LA 104 right into Evangeline Parish. Seeing that rotation, that area of rotation going right just north of there. As this tornado warning will go until 12:15. Certainly some signs of some extremely strong winds within the storm. I'm going to switch over, let me see, to the Fort Polk radar site as we are looking at this from actually Lake Charles right now. So let's go up to Fort Polk and really see that you can see what we're looking at here. Some very strong winds within this storm, as this is a little bit closer to the radar site, so we're really able to see the raindrops that are moving within the storm, and that brighter green that you're noticing here, that's some strong winds. Should be able to put up some, we're going to take that tornado warning down for you, and I'm going to put up some winds, some estimated winds that are coming out of this area. So about 50 to possibly 60 mile per hour winds at the strongest area, but you see that little red notch. That's also some signs that the winds are going away from the radar site, and then the green area is the winds going towards the radar site. So there definitely is some signs of rotation within this area. Certainly, I think this is a warning that needs to be put out there that we are seeing across the area. You see that red polygon. That is your tornado warning. That includes much of, now Mamu is included in this. Gray Point, Bond, Pine Prairie, you're on the very outer edge of that, as we are seeing signs of some very strong rotation moving across the lines here of Allen to Evangeline. This area that I'm really focusing on, that's the area that's going to be our main concern. So Howard Lane, I've been saying that a couple times, into Bieber Road, and we got Savoy Lane into Bieber Road. If you happen to be anywhere where I'm saying that, again, stay inside with this. This is rotation that's showing up on radar. We're able to see that counterclockwise rotation, which 99 out of 100 tornadoes in the northern hemisphere, they spin counterclockwise like a hurricane. So we're definitely noticing that in that bright green area right there now, coming out of Allen Parish, more into Evangeline Parish, right into our viewing area here on KLFY. Let me check this. This is Beaver Road that runs directly north to south. That looks like it runs into BJ Lane. All these areas, if you're hearing your road here, if you live on these roads, you need to be inside, because that is some significant rotation that we're seeing across southwestern Evangeline Parish. This is the only rotation that we're seeing right now. This is the only storm that has the potential for possibly a tornado. And if you look at this, the latest scan, a little concerning here, as we are seeing a bright green on the right side, almost a dark red on the left side. We call that gate-to-gate shear, almost perpendicular or parallel with each other, showing signs that we're getting winds that are going away and towards the radar site in a very, very almost parallel line. So that is a sign that there could be a tornado there. And they're checking this from the National Weather Service as it's, again, moving into more of Evangeline Parish. Just reading from the National Weather Service, further tornado warnings will likely be needed if this continues, this trend here. They feel like these storms, these cells, are moving into more of a favorable environment. As we zoom out, I just want to look at different things here. We only have the one tornado warning for that one area that, again, is pretty well defined. You can see it on your screen here. This bright red to dark, or bright green to dark red, that is your area of concern. So this tornado warning, again, goes until 12:15, which is about 20 minutes left on this. But according to the National Weather Service, which we're able to see the chat and everything and talk to them one-on-one, they are talking that they may need to issue more warnings based on this. And you can see that rotation now, again, still showing up pretty well. A well-defined rotation now about to cross over that Beaver Road we've been talking about in the western parts of Evangeline Parish. So this is out of Allen Parish now, even though the warning is still there. But the actual rotation of this storm has come out of that area, and you can see how bright green we went with that about 5 minutes ago. There is some signs that it may be weakening, but there is still that gate-to-gate shear that I mentioned, where you have the green on top of the red, almost stacked on top of each other. Let's go back over to regular radar that you're kind of used to seeing, where we're able to see the very heavy rains with this storm. And when we first cut in about 10 minutes ago, there was a significant amount of cloud-to-ground lightning strikes. Doesn't look like as many, which could be some signs that this cell is weakening a bit as it continues to move off to the northeast. But in this type of environment, we can have cycling that occurs where we actually have the tornado may touch down for about 2-3 minutes. It could be very short-lived. It goes right back up into the sky, and then it gets a chance to almost recirculate again and then work off to the northeast. So we could see kind of this, what will happen is more rotation will happen, and then another funnel cloud will come out of that and could touch down. So it looks like that will be going just north of Ville Platte as we see radar into motion here. The area of concern, again, that I have will be this area, this bright dark red here, that will have the strongest part of the storm. This will have your strongest winds. So that's going to come up on LA 10 in Evangeline Parish. That's where it's really headed. That's where we're really going to be keeping a close eye on everything when it comes to that. We're going to go back to velocity once again so I can really see what we have with the winds here as we continue to have this go until 12:15 this warning. This is a tornado warning, Doppler radar indicated at this point. And there it is. That's the Fort Polk area there. That's the Fort Polk radar, where we're getting a little bit better look at the actual rotation with this. As that's heading up towards Gray Point, and we have Barber Spur coming off LA 10. So that's going to be your area that you really need to focus in on if you're anywhere around this area right here going up towards Gray Point. we're looking at that still on track to reach Gray Point at about 12:14. Current time is 11:59, and we have 12:17 for Easton, but it is heading up towards one of those major highways up here in Evangeline Parish, where the area of concern will be when it comes to rotation based on Doppler radar. So that's that little bend up here, this blue line, that is LA 10, as it comes off and just goes west of LA 13. So major intersection right there to give you an idea of what we're seeing here from LA 13 to LA 10, almost west of Verdreen. Looks like a pretty significant sign of rotation within this storm. That is the only warning we have at this time. We do have signs of at least a couple other different cells that are trying to at least increase a little bit in strength. It is moving into an environment that could allow for a little bit more rotation, but we only have the one tornado warning right now. Looks like we got about 4 different cells there. This one down across Acadia Parish, not a big concern. Just north of Church Point, we'll have to watch that one closely. But again, for Evangeline Parish, we have what looks like significant rotation just west of LA 10 and LA 13 as this is moving off to the northeast towards Gray Point. If you're anywhere around the Gray Point area, please stay inside and keep those, again, as many walls from the outside to the inside that you can and stay away from any windows. So are we going to start News 10 at noon here? All right, so we're going to keep you updated here as much as we can. Again, there's about 15 minutes left on that warning here in Evangeline Parish. It looks like it will be between Mamou and Pine Prairie. That rotation's about to cross LA 10 and going towards the Easton and the Gray Point area. If there are any other warnings, any other information coming in from the National Weather Service, of course, we'll update you immediately. All right, let's start News 10 at noon.
Live from Acadiana, your local news leader, this is KLFY News 10 at noon.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for News 10 at noon. I'm Sylvia Masters. We begin with, of course, what we are covering right now. Let's turn back to our storm team meteorologist, Chris Kozar, to see if we will experience any severe weather tonight. Of course, Chris, you've been updating us throughout this afternoon up until recently. What's the latest?
Yeah, we've been having our first tornado warning. We may see a few more as we go through the next several hours here. The higher threat, the greater threat for severe weather will be across really central Mississippi. Moderate risk in place from the Storm Prediction Center. That's a level 4 out of a 5. Here in Acadiana, we're level 2 to level 3. Overall, our risk is on the lower side. Doesn't mean that we won't see any severe weather. We're already seeing that playing out as we have one single tornado warning that I've been talking about since really 11:45. So the last 20 minutes or so, we have that tornado warning in Evangeline Parish, a couple different other cells that we'll have to watch closely, but there are signs of rotation in this area up across Evangeline Parish as this all lifts off to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So it is moving rather quickly. You can see the amount of cloud to ground lightning strikes. Looks like the area of rotation will go north of Ville Platte here. So that is some good news as that will miss most of Ville Platte, but it will be crossing 167. Again, as we are looking at a tornado warning that is Doppler radar indicated. I think we're going to deal with these scattered showers and thunderstorms here for the rest of your afternoon. Future track hasn't been the best here. It does show these individual cells. That's what we're going to have to really watch closely, are these individual storms like we have there in Evangeline Parish from really now until midnight tonight and to Wednesday morning. Slight risk, level 2 out of 5, damaging winds, weak tornadoes, and a large hail threat, all possible. We'll have a full check on the forecast, of course, later.
All right, thank you, Chris. To stay up to date on the latest weather conditions in your area, you can download our free KLFY weather app. You can scan the code you see right there on your screen and download it straight from there. Or you can go to the Google Play or the Apple App Store and download from there. Authorities are investigating a shooting that happened in Eunice Monday night. It happened at a home on Acadia